everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to do a video that has been very highly requested, and that was to test some of the most popular brands of budget colored pencils in some of the Amazon printed books. So I have here Fairy Tale Princesses by Hannah Lynn, and then I have Hula Hotties, and this one is by Deborah Muller. But I was just sitting here testing some of these pencils, and I actually received some brand new budget pencils in the mail. So I wanted to be able to show you those and add them to this video as well. In this video, we're going to test out, of course, 120 square Brutfuner. Those are extremely popular. The Black Widow pencils and the Arteza pencils. Because if you saw my previous video where I talked about my 3 favorite budget brands of pencils, you will know that those are the 3 budget sets that were in that video. So I wanted to make sure I added those to this video. If you check the description box down below, you'll find everything down there that you see in this video, as well as links to my Facebook group, my email list, my Etsy shop, and my Patreon if you would like to support me there. I also now have channel membership if you would like to join that, and that will give you a few special perks when you join my live chats, when we do these live premiere videos. To find more information on that, you can click the join button below the video. Okay, so I'm going to go in the order here that I have everything pulled out. This set here I ordered like probably more than a month ago, and they have been sitting there, and I was going to do a review on them. I'm not doing a review on them only because this set is the same exact set as the 180 set of Brutfuners with the black barrels that I have already reviewed. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link that in the upper right hand corner so that you can check that out. But I bought these because I cannot find those pencils anywhere. I think that I gave them to my daughter. I really do not know, but I cannot find them anywhere, and I really loved those pencils, and I love the way that they lay down in coloring books. I ended up being able to get these for a fantastic price, even less than the 180 Brutfuner had ever dropped in price. So I'm excited to have these. Okay, so here they are, and of course they are not swatched out. Here is the list of colors. I haven't looked at these in the whole month and a half or so that I have had them, so I'm hoping that I'm not missing colors out of here. I haven't done anything at all with them because I didn't know if I was going to review them, but I did already choose some colors. I've got some greens to combine with the yellow. And I have this Hula Hotties coloring book here by Deborah Muller, and I was already coloring in this one. This one here is actually done with Prismacolors, and I wanted to show you this because I wanted to show you how well the Prismacolors work in these Amazon printed books. I absolutely love my Prismacolors, and for the most part when I'm using the Amazon printed books, that is generally what I use. But I love how my pineapple turned out, so I thought that maybe we can color one of these leaves down here at the bottom, or maybe over here where I had originally already started coloring this flower and I never finished it. So I went ahead and zoomed you in just a little bit, and I'll probably do this one here since it's bigger so y'all can see what I'm doing. So for those of you that have this set, I'll go ahead and tell you what colors I have. I've got middle yellowish green 168, canary yellow 004, and medium green 111. So again, these are the Kalour 180 set, but like I said, these are the exact same pencils as the Soucolor 180 with the black barrels that you're going to find on Amazon, as well as the 180 Brutfuners with the orange box. If you already have either one of those sets and you like the way these perform in the Amazon books, then I would not run out and pick these up because you already have these pencils. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to lay the highlight color down, which is this canary yellow. And I could already tell you these are going down very nicely. Super, super smooth. Now I have the yellowish green, and let's see how well this color goes down and blends into that other one. And I'm just laying this color wherever I feel like it would look good. This really isn't a coloring tutorial or anything like that. I just really want to be able to see how some of these budget sets work in some of the Amazon printed books, and maybe how many layers we can get down onto the paper, how well they blend together with the other colors, and how many times I can just come back and apply more layers, and whether or not they're scratchy when they lay down on the paper. Okay, so this is medium green 111, and I'm going to come in here and just lay this color right over the other color, or right over my mid-tone, I should say. And these are going down super nice. Super, super nice. Super, super smooth. No scratchiness at all. Okay, so I have my mid-tone again, and I'm going to go over the darkest color and sort of blend it into that lightest color, because I want to see what these pencils do when when you blend some of the colors together and how nicely they blend together to create other colors. So you can see that as I take this mid-tone green and lay it over that darker green, it is blending very nicely. The color is changing just a little bit. It's lightening it up. It's blending the colors together, and it's doing a really great job on this paper. Let me go ahead and add a little bit more of my canary yellow. These are really nice. I'm impressed. I love the way these are going down in this book, and they're blending together really nicely. And the white of the paper is starting to get covered, and I don't know, maybe one of you are counting layers. You can let me know in the comments how many layers it took to get pretty good coverage with these. But after we use the different sets of pencils, we can come back and compare the different sets and see how each one laid down. Let's see if we can get a little bit more of that darker green laid down there. I'm going to come back and use a little bit harder pressure, and I'm not using too hard a pressure because I don't want to get rid of all of the tooth. The little bit of tooth we do have in the Amazon books. I just want to see if I can get another layer down there, and I'm sort of just ignoring the lines. If y'all have seen my tutorials before, you know that usually when I color, I like to create a whole bunch of depth and dimension by going over the lines or what I would consider the veins in the leaves. But this isn't really a tutorial. I'm just really testing out the pencils. I want to see how these colors blend together. So this gives me a better idea of their blending ability by just ignoring those lines and trying to blend these colors together. And look how bright this yellow is getting. And if I go all the way up and into the other colors, it's still laying down right on top of those other colors. Look how pretty that is. I think all of the white of the paper is covered. I mean, I could probably get another layer down there, but for the sake of saving time in the video so we can move on to the other pencils, I think we are going to stop there. So I zoomed it out a little bit so y'all can look and see the difference between the Kalour 180 and then what the Prismacolors look like when I used them in this book. I spent a whole lot more time on this though, and I did lay down more layers. This does not feel like I could get that much more down onto the paper. I think most of the weight of the paper is definitely covered, but we all know how Prismacolors work, and they sort of just smush together. So with the Prismacolors, you're able to move that color around, and with these, once the color is down on the paper, they do perform more like an oil-based pencil where you have to layer it. Once the color is down on the paper, it doesn't move around as much. It moves around enough to blend the colors into one another, but after you get to a certain point, you can't really move that color around a whole lot more. Okay, so now I have Fairy Tale Princesses. I have my Brutfuner square pencils. I've already picked out some colors, and I'll show you what colors I'm using, and then I'll show you what we're gonna color. But I have 064, 095, and 021. And so I think all of these are here on the back of the swatch. I've got this is Fish Belly White, the 064 right here. And then the 095 is right here. The translated name is called Pink Pearl. And then 021 is over here, and the translated name is called Camel Bells. Now, I did put all of these in color family order. I have a video on that. I will link that in the upper right hand corner. I also have this blank swatch chart in my Facebook group, and you would have to do it front and back if you wanted to use this to swatch your colors out on. You can use this with any colored pencil set you want, but if you join my Facebook group, it is in the file section, and you can download that for free. And then if you were to download it for your Brutfuners and you wanted to put them in color family order, you can go ahead and follow along with my video and fill out your swatch chart. So let's go ahead and go to the page that we were going to color in this book, and I'm just going to test these colors out on Pinocchio's hat. So again, I'm going to start with my lightest color, and so I'm just going to fill in the center of the hat over here. I'm trying to do these fairly quickly because this is the second one, and I still have two other sets I want to go through with y'all. And I picked these colors prior to filming the video because I was actually coloring with these, and that's what gave me the idea for this video. And I said, well, let me go ahead and do that because it's been requested so often. But the other ones I haven't even picked out colors for yet. I want to do the Arteza, and look how pretty this color is. I'm so distracted. See y'all? Just like trying to talk and I get so distracted because the color is so pretty. But I want to do Arteza, and what was the other one I wanted to do? Black Widows. So we're still going to do those in this video. And if there are other sets you'd like to see tested, you will have to let me know in the comments below. But these are going down super, super nice. I think, even better than the previous ones. And I am going in a circular motion, and I am treating these more like an oil-based pencil because that is what they are marketed as, and that is what they feel like when they lay down, but they are much softer than something like a polychromos if you are familiar with those. Okay, so let's come back in with the mid-tone and layer over some more of that and pull it into these other colors. And let's see how well they blend on this paper. They are blending really nicely. Oh, I love these. These may take a few more layers to cover the white of the paper though, it's looking like. I think the other ones laid down more color initially. When I touched the paper with the pencil, the color went right down. I mean, these do too, just not as much as the Kalour ones did. I'm using a little bit harder pressure to try to cover some of that white of the paper. I gotta turn my book a little bit just so I'm a little more comfortable and so I could go against the direction that I was going because I think that's gonna help me to fill a little bit more of the white of the paper here. Y'all, it's a Sunday night and I never film on Sunday night, but tomorrow is 4th of July and I usually film on Mondays, and then everybody in my family wanted to do something and I had forgotten that it was 4th of July and I scheduled coloring classes and everything. So I am going to be working for a little bit tomorrow, but I figured at least I would only have a couple classes to teach and then I wouldn't have to worry about having to film as well. So these are going down really nicely in this book. I'm almost thinking that I like these better in this book. And look how they blend together so nicely. I'm thinking that these might blend a little bit better than the others did. Now I'm going in a circular motion and just trying to pull all these colors together. And I still have a lot of the white of the paper, so let me come back with my darkest color and see if I could get another layer down here. Oh, look how that color just goes right down. These are such nice pencils. And there's some really unique colors in this set, just like the Crayola set. So if you want a colored pencil set that is going to be more budget friendly, this is a great set with a lot of unique colors, as is the 120 set of Crayolas. I think I have most of the white of the paper covered. I'm just trying to see if I could get one last blend in here. And I do see a little bit of a waxy film. If I turn the book a little bit, I actually see a little bit of a waxy film with these. They lay down like an oil, very much like an oil-based pencil though. But I think that looks really, really nice, and they lay down really smooth as well. So there we go, it's all done, and I could probably get just one more layer down there, but I'm not going to attempt it because we all know this paper is pretty thin. But I did cover most of the white of the paper. I'm sure that if you wanted to cover more of the white of the paper, you can come back with a blend. You know what, let me do that. So I grabbed my Caran d'Ache blender, and I'm just gonna go over this and see what happens. Oh, look at that. Oh, it blended together beautifully. Look at that. And it's getting rid of all of the white of the paper. There's your trick right there, y'all. This is the most awesome blender. I don't know if these are still available. I know they were switching their blenders or something like that, and so I put in an Amazon order in to make sure I got some before they were discontinued. But look at that, all of the white of the paper is gone. They laid down really, really nicely. I came back with that blender pencil and I was able to pull everything together, and it looks really, really good. Now we're gonna test the Black Widows. This is my swatch chart with all my colors put into color family order. I do have a video on this, and I also have this available in my Etsy shop, just like this, with the colors already swatched out and with all of the names and numbers, so you can swatch out your own colors in color family order. It is front and back, and it is all 180 colors. They are all put into order according to color family and then by undertones as I see them. And I only say as I see them because we do all see color differently. But this is my order. If you're interested, you can go to my Etsy shop and grab this swatch chart. So the colors that I decided to choose were some of these colors here that are right up against one another. I've got Blue Daisy, Blue Heaven, and then Sky, because Sky is my absolute favorite color out of all 180 colors in this set. And I thought that we could come over here and just start coloring like her little bathing suit skirt here, or wraparound little thingy she's wearing. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my highlight color here, which is Sky, and I'm just going to fill in some of her little skirt here where I would want the highlights to be. And I'm going to try to do this pretty quickly because I still want to test the Artezas and I'm trying to get it all into one video. Okay, so now I have Blue Heaven and I'm going to blend this color right here into the other. And these are going down really nicely as well. Y'all are going to have lots of choices for budget-friendly sets to color in these Amazon books. I would pick such a huge area to color when I'm trying to keep the time down in a video. Okay, so now we're going to come back with the darkest color, which is the Blue Daisy. And I'm going to lay this color right over these other colors. You can see I'm just following the lines, but these pencils are laying down super, super nice. I'm not sure which ones yet that I really like the best. Okay, so I'm coming back and just going in a circular motion. This is my mid-tone, and I'm just trying to pull some of these colors through. Spread them out a little bit and blend them in like I did in the previous tests with the other sets of pencils. But you all know me. If I colored the way that I normally colored, if this was an actual tutorial, I would be here for quite a long time because I would probably be pulling in another color by now already. I am using a bit harder pressure now, trying to get some of this color down on the paper. I don't know. I'm sort of thinking that maybe the Brutfuners were the easiest to get laid down on this paper. Let me go ahead and grab my highlight color and add some of this in here and blend some of these colors out and sort of start bringing it all together. But I don't know if you are counting layers. Hopefully someone is. I have no idea how many layers I have laid down here so far. Look how gorgeous this color is. This is my absolute favorite color in the Black Widow set. These are blending together nicely, but I find that I'm having to put a little bit more pressure behind my pencil with these Black Widows. But what I'm also noticing with these is I feel like I can add more layers with the Black Widows than I could with the other pencils, either one of the other ones. So I had to sharpen my pencil. Let me come back and try to add some shading in here. I think sharpening my pencil will help just a little bit, but I want to give a little bit of depth and dimension here to her skirt. Okay, so now I'm just using this color to blend some of the colors out and bring them together. This is my mid-tone, and then I'm just going to come back one more time with my lightest color. And I'm going to go in a circular motion with this one and just pull all the colors together. But I feel like I got down quite a bit of color and quite a bit of layers with these Black Widow pencils. I can still feel the color moving like you can with a Prismacolor. So of course these are a wax-based pencil, but I don't know if you could tell just by watching the video that I was still able to move that color around just a little bit, blend it together a little bit more, and it helped me to cover more of the white of the paper. I'm sure if I used the blender pencil, I could get even more coverage than that. Let me go ahead and just try it and show y'all since I used it in the last one. If I come in here with this blender pencil, and it's bringing all those colors together even more. Okay, so I like the way the Black Widows performed in these books. I don't know if my favorites so far are the Brutfuner 180s. It's definitely not the first one. The Kalour 180s did lay down very, very nicely. Those were the ones that I used when I did the leaf. But I think that I like the way that the 120 Brutfuner square pencils laid down better than these because I was able to get a little bit more color down onto the paper. The color didn't go down as quickly. These pencils, when I laid the color down, it went down on the paper immediately. But the same thing did not happen with the others. I had to layer the other pencils until I got the color that I wanted. But I think I like the way that they lay down on the paper and the way that they worked with the paper a little bit better. So far, I think I may like the Brutfuner ones the absolute best. The Black Widows, they were good on this paper and they did blend together really, really nicely. They probably blended together better than the Brutfuner, but for some reason, I think I actually like the Brutfuner better. When I used the Brutfuner square pencils, they were just so much quicker. The color went down on the paper and it came together much quicker. I had to use less layers. So I think maybe that's why I like those a little bit better, but we're gonna test out the Artezas now. And I'm probably going to stick to using my Black Widows in my Erie books and my Johanna Basford books because I love the way they work in those books, especially my Johanna Basford books. Okay, so I have my Arteza pencils and I need to see, this is only the 72 set that I have here because I didn't want to go through all my pencil cases trying to track down my 120 sets. So I'm trying to see if there's something else on this page we can go ahead and just get colored. Maybe I will try some more shades like this and do her top. Okay, so I have the Arteza pencils and I'm gonna try something a little bit different. Go ahead and color the top of her bathing suit, but I'm actually gonna use blues with yellows to really put these to the test, see how they lay down on the paper, see how well they blend together, and I'm gonna see if I could blend the yellow seamlessly together with the blue. So I have the Asian blue, the robin egg blue, and then the ivory. And I'm doing this because I don't really have another blue that is super, super light because I only have the 72 set. So we're gonna get creative. And had I known I was doing this, I probably would have done the same thing here on the bottom, but that's okay. We're just using this as a tester page. And I wanted to try to get most of them on this page because I wanted you to be able to see the difference between what I could do with the Prismacolor and what I'm doing here with the other pencils. And I still like the Prismacolor best, but we all gotta have our budget pencils. But if you wanna know which pencils perform absolute best in these books, it's definitely the Prismacolors. I haven't found anything that works better on the Amazon printed book than a Prismacolor. With these Arteza pencils, I started with the yellow, which is my lightest color or my highlight color, and then I came back with the mid-tone, which is the lighter of the blues, and I started to blend that color into the yellow, and it seemed to be going down fairly nicely and blending together well. Then I grabbed my darkest of the two blues and I started laying that color down to add some shading and some shadows, and it is blending together nicely with the lighter blue. I did notice about these that they did lay down with about the same amount of pigment onto the paper initially, like the Kalour 180 set did. Now I'm using a little bit harder pressure and just trying to get some of that color down there. And now I'm going to come back with my mid-tone and I'm going to use a little bit harder pressure with this one too, and I'm really going to blend that color out. And they're blending right into that yellow, from the blue to the yellow. And of course I'm going to come back with the yellow, I think, what was that, cream? Ivory. So it's a very pale yellow. And now let me come back and add that pop of yellow in there. And yep, it's turning green. That's okay. Let me go ahead and see if I could get a little bit more down there with this darker color. But these colors are blending together very nicely. I don't know about that little pop of yellow on a bathing suit top, but I really wanted to test these colors out, or these pencils out. These are blending together really nice. Look how it's blending that yellow right into that blue. Wow, I think I like that. Okay, y'all, so here's everything that we did, and if I had to choose which one performed the absolute best in these books, I would probably go with the Brutfuner 120s, the square set of pencils. It was just a much better experience for me, and I like the way that it turned out much better. I like the way the colors blended out. I thought that the amount of color that went down on the paper, in the time that it went down on the paper, and the way that it layered and everything else, I just liked a whole lot more about the entire experience when I was using those. And when I went to the Black Widows or the Artezas or any of the other ones, they did all lay down very, very nicely on the paper, but they just did not lay down the same way that these laid down. And if I had to choose which out of these looked better, I would say this looks fantastic and the Prismacolors look fantastic. And if I worked with these just a little bit more, I could get this to look just like I did with the Prismacolors, and I could probably lay colors over colors of opposite color families, just like I did here when I did my pineapple with the Prismacolors. And although these blended together pretty nicely, if you remember, these were the Artezas, they did blend together very, very nicely. It covered all of the white of the paper. There is no white remaining. And I know that I was testing these out a little bit extra by adding the yellow in there. I just wanted to really experiment with them and put them to the test. But they look a little bit splotchy, and y'all know I love my Arteza pencils. So I know it's not the pencils, it's just all about matching up your pencils to the paper. Even these Kalour 180 set went down very, very nicely, even though this is not my typical way of coloring. And this up here is more my style of coloring, where you're looking at this pineapple. They still went down very nicely, and the pigment went right down on the paper. When you lay those pencils down on the paper, the color is just coming out and going onto the paper, but I was not able to lay down as many layers as I was with the Brutfuner 120 square set. And then I feel like with the Black Widow, they laid down really nicely and everything else, but I feel like I was just getting a little bit frustrated with them for some reason. And I don't ever get frustrated with my Black Widows. So those are my thoughts on each one of these sets of pencils. They're all wonderful pencils, but it's all about matching your pencils to your paper. And if I were going to pick up just one Amazon printed book and a set of colored pencils to go with it, I would go with the 120 Brutfuner square set. And everything that you've seen me use in this video, I will have linked in the description box below. I think that there actually was a special on these at the time that I'm filming this video, but these pencils are always super, super cheap. You could always get them for a great deal. There's lots of unique colors that come in this set, and I just love that they're square and they're just really gorgeous pencils. They're beautiful. So if you don't already have those, you may want to add those to your pencil collection or consider them for the future when you want to pull out your Amazon printed books. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Everything that you've seen in this video, I will have linked down in the description box below so that you can easily find it. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Happy coloring. Bye.